Hello everybody, it's the Law and Gnome, and welcome to your July 2020 Funko Pop update. Well, I'm really hoping that you are excited today, because it definitely has been a very interesting couple of weeks for Funko, especially because of the fact that the San Diego Comic-Con Funko exclusives dropped in the past couple of days, and it was not one of the best releases that Funko had in terms of the amount. I mean, I personally feel that there are definitely some interesting ones. I wasn't even expecting to be interested in any of them, but Funko, you got me again. We'll take a look at what I actually am interested in, but definitely the whole COVID-19 pandemic is definitely showing its ugly head, especially when it comes to Funko, because there's been a lot of sad things in the world of Funko. Cutting production, firing a whole bunch of their social media staff, including some of the well-known faces that we have seen on Funko's website and Twitter page and YouTube channel for so many years. It's just such a sad thing to know that this is what has happened, and of course, based on the current situation, who knows when anything is going to really get back to normal until we have a vaccine. But that's not the reason why we're here today, everybody. There is still good things to discuss in the world of Funko, and I'm very excited to talk about them with you. But before we get into all the news, of course, we have to take a look at how my collection has been going. So today's theme is going to be comic book characters, whether they are comic book characters depicted in film or actual comic books. It is definitely going to be a fun time, because some of these are pops that I've actually had in my collection for a while, and some are pops that I recently got. And we are going to go over the entire spectrum. We're going to look at both Marvel and DC. So the first one that we're going to take a look at is one that I've actually had in my possession since 2019. And it is the only Avengers Endgame pop that I ever got, and it's actually one of a very small group that I have in terms of Marvel Cinematic Universe. I have, including this one, a total of 6, and that includes my Hulk-smashing Loki moment from the film, The Avengers, but I really didn't have any intentions to get any other pops outside of that one and the different stages of Groot, but there was something about this recent Captain America pop that just spoke to me. And I think it's also because of the fact that I may not have mentioned this on my channel, but if I had, it was very, very brief. I have been a huge advocate for Captain America as a comic book character, because for a very long time I called him the forgotten great hero of Marvel Comics, because he was one of the very first and definitely most praised in the 1940s because of his World War II adventures. But ever since that point in time, Captain America never got the true praiseworthiness and the true tributes that he deserved. He got crappy movies, and he fell into obscurity, and then finally the MCU turned him into one of the most beloved heroes in the MCU, and now so many people love Captain America in the comics. His story has been absolutely fantastic, and for me personally, when you also have Chris Evans playing Steve Rogers, how could you say no? It was just a great performance as this character, and this specific pop was just absolutely amazing. It was the scene from Avengers Endgame when he fought up against Thanos' army with the Avengers and all the others that sided with him, and he held his broken shield, and he held Mjolnir, and he said, "Avengers Assemble." Look at the beauty that is this pop. The details are incredible. You've got so much detail in the damaged shield, in the blue lightning that surrounds his entire body, even the details in his helmet and the details in his entire uniform. Just a beautiful display in terms of a sculpt, and just one of the most incredible pops that I ever saw. And also, I'm very proud to have a Captain America pop in my collection, and I always felt that I would one day. I'm just glad that it's this one, because it truly is a beautiful one. The next one that we're going to look at, and spoiler alerts, I'm going to say that right now, even though she has been on the market for quite some time, but due to the fact that this movie is still very much on hold and coming out much later on in this year, we're going to be taking a look at a pop from Wonder Woman 84, a movie that I'm so excited to finally see, but it was all because of the fact that I do collect DCEU pops, and when I found out that we were going to actually get a pop of the Cheetah, who of course is one of Wonder Woman's most notorious villains in her rogues gallery in the movie played by Kristen Wiig, I was just so excited because they really tried to keep her under wraps for many, many months when they first announced the Wonder Woman 84 line, but she's here now, and this is exactly what I expected Cheetah to look like, and I am so happy to know that we will be getting this exact look in the film. I mean, the details are fantastic. Yes, to a certain degree, this could possibly be an inappropriate thing because she is, in fact, naked, but in the history of the character, it started off with a woman just in a cheetah costume, to the point where she actually mutated into a half-woman, half-animal hybrid. So that's definitely what we're seeing here, but it's great. I love the sculpt. I love all of the spots all over her body, even the tail, which is definitely a little coup de grace there, and I also love the color style of the hair, how it starts like really, really bleach blonde, and then it just turns into a much more light auburn, if you will. It's just a beautiful sculpt, and I also love the details on her hands. You definitely see the claws showing, and it just gets me all the more excited to actually see this character square off against Wonder Woman in the new movie, though I am anticipating, much like most of the cliche things that we see in comic book films, the final version of the villain is not going to show up until the last 10 minutes of the movie, and we're not going to get more of what we want from Cheetah. But either way, the pop itself gives me all the Cheetah that I want. But the last pop that we're going to talk about is a comic book moment. This is the second comic book moment that I own. The other one is my 1964 Batman and Robin, celebrating the 80th anniversary of the character and the franchise on a rooftop. And this is a PX Previews exclusive of Spider-Man versus Venom, or in the case of the actual box, Venom versus Spider-Man. Now, I originally had no intentions to get this one, but the more I really got into it, the more excited I got, because this is not just any Spider-Man versus Venom moment in comic books. This is based on the cover of Amazing Spider-Man 316, and I'm going to show you exactly what it looks like right now. One of the few things that you may not know about this, especially if you are just fans of the films and not a reader of the comic books, nothing wrong with that, but just so you know, Spider-Man in the 1980s and 90s was drawn and conceptualized by one of the greatest artists and storytellers in comic book history, and that is Todd Mcfarlane. He is responsible for one of the coolest independent comic characters, Spawn, and he revolutionized Spider-Man for the masses. He gave him the ability in regards to agility unlike anything that you've ever seen, and the way that he drew him was just incredible. You can tell that this pop is definitely based on his artistry because of Spider-Man's eyes. They were much bigger than most artists ever drew him, and it only added to the dynamic representation of this character, and this is just like a very dark moment in Spider-Man, obviously, because clearly he is losing the battle against Venom. But also, Venom is a character that was conceptualized around the time that Todd Mcfarlane was drawing Spider-Man, and he pretty much is the reason why we all love Venom, because he drew him. He was the first person to draw him. His very first Spider-Man comic that he ever drew was Amazing Spider-Man 298, and I am a proud owner of that comic, because it is the first cameo appearance of Venom. But the pop itself is right out of the comic cover. You could even purchase this pop with an exclusive comic book, and I love the sculpt. Everything from the details on Spider-Man's costume to the details on Venom's costume. His expression is just so evil, and I just love the way this pop is designed all the way around. In the back, you got the beautiful spider on the Venom costume, as well as the web shooter devices on his knuckles. It is just incredible, and such a beautiful tribute to Todd McFarlane's work, because for me, this isn't just a pop. This is something that doesn't necessarily even belong in my pop collection. If anything, I would put it in my Todd Mcfarlane collection with my Beatles figures over here and over here, because that is what this pop is to me. And now there's a very interesting pop that's being announced, which is also a deluxe, and I still am unsure if I'm going to pick it up, but it's also going to come with a comic book if you want to get the deluxe edition. But these three pops really speak to me as a comic book fan, and I always get excited when the comic book characters come out in pop form because I'm really into comic book reading right now, so much into the reading, and I would love to see more comic book moments show up, especially ones that tribute to those moments that I specifically grew up with. I wish I owned a copy of Amazing Spider-Man 316, but if I have this pop, I will probably say that this is as close as I'm going to get right now because that comic book is a very valuable comic. But anyway, that's all that's been going on with my collection. I mean, that's not necessarily true either. There's plenty more pops that I've recently acquired that I cannot wait to show you guys, but you know me, I like to go in themes, so let's take a look at the news. Alright, so as always, let's start with all the new goodies that were featured on the Funko shop these past couple of weeks. We definitely have a nice eclectic mix, including the Fanta Clown, which is the old Fanta mascot. Between you and me, guys, I probably would have expected a quadruple pack of the Fanta Girls. I think that that would have been so much more relatable to the younger generations. But we've also got a new mythical creature, Pegasus, as well as a new pop around the world. We've got Priya the Elephant from India. But probably one of the highlights was one that, yes, my wife and I jumped on. Cher Bear in her Cloudmobile. Now, my wife and I are 80s kids, so of course Care Bears was a very big part of our life. We even have 3 Care Bear pops, but we would not have gone after this one because, not gonna lie, it was pretty pricey, but the accuracy of the Cloud car is fantastic. The details are beautiful. Even the stand is a little clear cloud. So the minute I saw it and showed it to my wife, she was like, yes, we have to get it, and we did. And so glad that we did, because even for the price, this one sold out, and I have a strange feeling this one's going to be worth a bundle, because the Bedtime Bear, which we also have from the Funko shop, is also pretty valuable at this point in time. So glad that we got that. Don't know about everybody who didn't get it, but I think most of these, except for the Care Bear one, are definitely still available on the Funko shop. We also have t-shirts galore, some that include pops and some that do not, but the one that definitely stands out for me is Joker Death of the Family, only because of the fact that it includes a glow-in-the-dark version of the Death of the Family Joker, and as someone who just read the comic, wow, that is definitely something that's very cool. Part of me is seriously considering going to a Hot Topic and picking that one up, because it does look pretty good. I'd love the t-shirt as well. Also, we got the latest Marvel Collector Core, and of course it was Black Widow. Not only did we get an awesome Black Widow Funko tee, we got 2 exclusive pops, including a new version of Black Widow, and of course Alexei, who is played by David Harbour. Now, the only thing is we have no idea when this movie's even coming out, so some people could probably call this one a tease, but these have been out for so many weeks already, there's no reason why I couldn't showcase them today. So if you got the box, congratulations! We also have a couple of other boxes featured at GameStop, including a Masters of the Universe box, which includes a flocked He-Man pop. I just want to know what part of the pop is flocked. According to what I can see here, it's his loincloth and his boots, which is definitely extremely funny, but there's also an Avengers box, which includes an Abomination pop, which I think is definitely interesting, but I don't understand this sloth with wings decal. What is this? Where does it fall in the Marvel Cinematic Universe or Marvel Comics in general? Somebody please help me. I need to know what this sloth is for. Also, the newest sensation of Funko, soda can figures, are still coming, and they're coming on strong, and we have a whole bunch of them, and don't forget, there's a very good chance that you can get the chase, because every single soda can figure has a chase. We've got Chili Willy, we've got Gene Simmons from Kiss, Leonardo, and the Heath Ledger Joker. Also, Hot Topic gave us a couple of other exclusives that are coming out in the coming weeks, including Dragon Ball Super's flocked Champa, and as someone who is now watching Dragon Ball Super, finally, I understand what's going on, and I know all these characters, including a newest addition to the Diamond Collection, which is the Toy Story Alien, and sit tight, everybody, because aliens are big in this review today. And also, we've got a Hot Topic exclusive of Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. I know a lot of people that are excited for the American Psycho pop line. From a couple of other places, including GameStop and FYE and a couple of other areas, we've got a couple of anime and video game pops, including a Last of Us Part 2 Ellie, as well as a 6-inch supersized pop of a blood splatter. I haven't seen a blood splatter pop in a while of the EVA Unit 1 from Neon Genesis Evangelion. Now, here's an interesting thing. The Marvel Blacklight pops. Apparently, DC is working on this too. So, they're all Target exclusives, including the Spider-Man box, which includes a t-shirt and a Blacklight Spider-Man. I love the colors. Don't get me wrong, the colors is definitely something to write home about, but the whole concept just doesn't make sense to me. I would probably say I would go after the Spider-Man just because of the fact that the t-shirt is extremely cool, but I'm not going to do that. I mean, just put your comments in the box below and let me know your thoughts on this line in general. And speaking more about Marvel, we have a couple of additional exclusives, one from Walgreens, which is Adam Warlock. You probably have no idea who Adam Warlock is if you haven't read the comics, but he is going to play a role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, hopefully in Phase 4, if not, then 5. He is very much connected to the Infinity Gauntlet in the comics, but it's going to be really cool to actually see a pop of this comic character. He's also part of the 80th anniversary. We've also got another Venomized exclusive from Amazon, Doctor Strange, and the newest edition of Avengers Assemble. We've got Thor from Amazon, so if you already got your Iron Man, your Hulk, and your Hawkeye, prepare for Thor, which means we've only got 2 more of this set to go, and I, again, am not getting these, but I'm always excited to see all of the screenshots and the glam shots of all of these pops put together in its little collection piece. I'm really excited to see the finished product. Now, in regards to DC, we've got Big Apple Collectibles, which is a new place where you can get a lot of exclusives, and they are giving us a DC Black Adam. I'm really excited to see Black Adam joining the Funko family, and we had seen the PX Previews exclusive in pieces of Deathstroke versus the Red Hood, and now this is going to be featured at Comic-Con, but you'll be able to get this at Entertainment Earth as well. Very cool pop. I love the way it looks. Bugs Bunny, of course, we're celebrating the 80th anniversary of Bugs Bunny. Oh my goodness, that is incredible. And of course, we're getting a couple of legendary versions of Bugs from the various cartoons. I love Super Bugs from the FYE exclusive, and of course, I love the one with the cane and the top hat. That is from the old soft shoe scene. Love that so much. So many classic versions of Bugs Bunny here. I'm just glad to see these happening, but I want to see more Looney Tunes figures. I mean, I'm still shocked that we never got a Porky Pig. Where is Porky, for crying out loud? We've also got a couple of other additional things coming out, including a 10-inch Mandalorian with the Mini Yoda or Kid or Baby Yoda or whatever, a pop town of the actual Haunted Mansion and the Butler, but I think one of the coolest things that they did recently give us was the Amazon exclusive pack of Mickey, a whole bunch of various versions of Mickey basically drawing himself. I love that we've got the plain crazy Mickey all the way to modern day Mickey with Sorcerer Mickey in the center. Just a really cool piece, and you can get it on Amazon. And as I said, the alien from Toy Story was coming back. Yes, we have alien remixes of your favorite Pixar characters. Everyone from Buzz Lightyear to an oversized Woody. A lot of Up characters. They definitely didn't skimp. And some of these look good. Some of these really, I don't even know why they're making them. But I love the Carl. That is definitely the highlight of this bunch. The Doug is pretty cute, but I'm not going to get any of these. But all I know is that there's more on the way in regards to this theme. And speaking of cute things, it was all just a matter of time before we got a Groot, which was the size of a small child. You can get the 18-inch supersized pop of Baby Dancing Groot. You can get this on Amazon.com. It's a pretty pricey item, but he is 18 inches tall. That is pretty crazy. One of the things that really impressed me was the fact that they went back to the NFL and gave us a whole new wave with a whole new style of NFL Funko Pops. We've got action poses, but we also have them on little pieces of turf, which I absolutely love. I think that that is great. You can get everyone from Pat Mahomes to Jimmy Garoppolo. I mean, I would love to see more Funko Pops of the NFL come out that look like this, because we originally got the first wave with the removing helmets, and then we got another grouping which didn't have helmets. I have 3 of those. I've got my 3 Jets, but I would love to see some Jets Pops in these new styles, because I absolutely love the way these new NFL Pops look. And we've got the newest edition of Madden 21, and of course it is going to have a special pack which will include a Funko Pop. We also have a very interesting announcement that happened. We got the Free Comic Book Summer. Normally, Free Comic Book Day is the first Saturday of May, but of course we all know what's been going on in the world. So now that lots of comic book stores are open again and they are allowing people to come in and buy their new books, they decided to turn Free Comic Book Day into a summer event from July 15th to September 9th. They're going to be featuring exclusive comic books, but this is the first thing that they have announced, and that is the Loki box. You get the 1 Loki Pop, you can get 1 of 3 t-shirts, and 1 of 3 comic books. So as I said earlier in the video, obviously San Diego Comic-Con has officially been canceled, but Funko was still trying their very best to bring their San Diego Comic-Con exclusives to the fans. They will still be coming out around the time that San Diego Comic-Con was supposed to take place, and of course there are going to be some shared exclusives. The one downside in regards to this was the fact that a lot of people realized that they really didn't give us that many, and that's just because of the whole pandemic and the fact that production has really slowed, and it just wasn't something that they could do based on the resources that they currently have. So let's take a look at what will be coming out in regards to San Diego Comic-Con. Of course, they did give us some of the mascot this year, like they did last year, and you can get a regular version of the San Diego Comic-Con mascot, or you can also get him in a spacesuit, or you could get the 1,000-piece limited edition Comic-Con Museum exclusive, and these will be available at the Funko shop. We also got some other really awesome ones, including a soda can Crunchberry Beast from Captain Crunch, of course, but I think probably the one that got a lot of people excited was Jack from Jack in the Box. That is definitely one of the best-looking ad icons. I'm pretty sure there are so many people that are going to get their hands on that one. Also, in regards to the world of music, we got Stephen Aoki, and he is a Toy Tokyo exclusive, which means he is not going to be as easy to get as some of the other shared exclusives, because Toy Tokyo, they usually want you to buy all of their specific San Diego Comic-Con exclusives in a bundle, and there are some good ones, but I don't know how many people are going to want this one specifically. We got a lot of awesome things in regards to video games, including a new character from Fortnite, the Flocked Mewtwo and Vulpix, as well as a Sonic the Hedgehog double pack, including Tails, which is also really exciting. I love the way the new Tails looks, as well as a Supersonic Silver, and a character from a game called Critical Role. Don't know much about this game, but there is going to be an exclusive. In regards to the world of anime, we got a Super Saiyan God Goku, which looks pretty damn awesome, from Dragon Ball Super, a new My Hero Academia, as well as another Hello Kitty Kaiju. Now, I say another because a couple of days ago they announced the Hello Kitty Kaiju series. So they will not be featured in this month's Funko Pop update, but just so you know, there is a whole series coming, and let this just be a little bit of a taste of what is going to be arriving in terms of commons. Also, Disney dropped some really good ones. I'm actually very surprised that Disney did not break me this year, because normally they do. We've got another Alien remix. It is Kevin from Up. We also have a Nightmare Before Christmas Tearaway Face Clown soda can figure, but I think the one that a lot of people really got excited for is Yzma from The Emperor's New Groove as a kitty cat. I love the way she looks. I love the evil sneer, and I also love the holding of the vial. If you didn't see this movie, you probably won't get this reference, but this was definitely one of the highlights of the film for me, but I am not gonna get it, to be honest with you. We got a lot in the world of classic retro cartoons. We got the Michelangelo with San Diego Comic-Con Cowabunga surfboard, which is pretty much in what they did last year with Batman holding the San Diego Comic-Con bag. That is definitely a really cute one. We've also got 2 new Masters of the Universe Pops, including Clawful, and that also includes 2 soda can figures, and it looks like the Moss Man might actually be flocked. We got Scaramouche from Samurai Jack, and Invader Zim with Minnie Moose. In the world of DC, they definitely did something great. Normally, they don't give us that many as they do Marvel, but the ones that they got this year definitely counts. We got a limited to 3,000 pieces Black Lightning, which I think a lot of people are upset about because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who really do like this show. But they also gave us Ra's al Ghul and Cyborg Superman. Now, the Ra's al Ghul I almost went for because it looked like it might have actually been the Batman the Animated Series version, but it turns out it's just a regular DC comic, so I didn't. But we also are going to be getting a glitter Batman and Robin, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Mr. Freeze, which is only appropriate. In regards to some television, we got another Dwight from The Office. And we also got, from two of the biggest franchises in film, we've got a new Star Wars pop as well as a new Harry Potter pop. Only one for each, which is unfortunately because of the situation, I'm sure. But you can get a flying Sith Trooper as well as Harry Potter in the Bulgarian gear for the Quidditch World Cup from the Goblet of Fire. For Marvel, on the other hand, they definitely gave us some good ones, including a new Stan Lee cameo, which is from the very first of the Marvel Cinematic Universe films, Iron Man. We also got a 10-inch supersized Thing zombified, as well as a Dark Captain Marvel. And from the X-Men 20th anniversary, we've got a awesome-looking Nightcrawler, which I still want to get the regular comic book version, but I cannot deny that this one's pretty awesome. Not getting it, though, but a lot of people are really surprised by the X-Men Origins Wolverine Wade Wilson, but if you've seen the Deadpool movies, this one makes it all the more hilarious. Some don't get it, but I understand it, so it's happening. And then we got a couple of movie pops, and this is actually the last set, and this was the one that pretty much broke me. No, it was not the long-awaited by many Anchorman set, including a scented pop, which is so crazy. No, it was not the Marty checking his watch from Back to the Future, and it's definitely not the Jay and Silent Bob reboot Iron Bob. No, it is the Scott Pilgrim vs. the World Funko Pop of Wallace West, who is played by Kieran Culkin in that movie, and this was my favorite character of the entire movie, and I love the way he looks. I love that he's got the old school flip phone, the socks, and he was the best part of the whole movie. I love that movie to death, and this is definitely my favorite character, so it would be wrong if I didn't go out and get my hands on that one. But guys, that was the end. There was no more Funko Pops that were introduced for San Diego Comic-Con, so I'm really curious to know what's going to be happening for New York Comic-Con, and more importantly, when things get back to normal, what's going to be happening with the company in general, because this is a very, very small group, but the fact that we got something is still a cool thing. Thank you very much for watching, everybody. You know how much I love to talk Funko Pops with you, so please pop your comments down in the box below. Pop your comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Hey, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. If you're new here and want to see more of what my channel has to offer, please click on the link to my last video, or hit that subscribe button to be kept up to date with all of my uploads. Content of all sorts is posted here quite often, so trust me, you do not want to fall behind. I will see you in the comments, and actions speak louder than words.